Drawing the Ferrari Type 156. This is lesson 2, and what I've done is I've put a base coat of color over the rear and upper part of the body of the car, and I started a little bit with the tire. I usually start with the darkest part, but this is going to be problematic because it has treads on the tire, so it's going to be a little bit more work. But what I did was I just put a light color on all of the front portion of the upper part of the car and started to try to figure out how the rear part's going to go. It's a red car, fairly deep red, Ferrari red of course, and so what I've done is I tried to make the roundness of the bottom of the car apparent, and I'm going to have to work really hard on these two front tires, the two front side tires, I should say, the right side tires. And then the back ones will be pretty easy compared to that. But it's a real pretty car, and I think it's gonna look great when we get done with it. There is a roundness to the upper part of the car, of course, so it's going to be darker here than it is up here. But then going down, there's also a roundness here where it sucks in. There's a big shadow underneath the upper lip of the car here. And this also tucks in to give room for the tires to turn. So this tank is smaller, the front end of the car is smaller than the center section, which holds most of the fuel in the tank here. It's very interesting because there are a lot of changes in width and rounding top to bottom. So it's going to be a challenge to portray all of that with 2 dimensions, but with my ink I'll do the best I can with it. But I remember being a kid and coming home and reading about the exploits of Phil Hill and his driving in Europe for the Ferrari team, and this is the car that he drove, the type of car that he drove, and it really was a terrific car. The 1.5 liter formula was really exciting because the drivers were pitted so closely against one another. The Ferraris had it on speed, and the British cars probably had it on road holding, but it seems like most often the Ferraris, with their stronger engines, were able to outpower the fact that their handling might not have been quite up to the same par as the other cars. But I'm sure they were a handful. You see no aerodynamics on this car anywhere. These things were just mechanical grip. Either the tires held on or they didn't, and unfortunately sometimes they didn't. As like I told you last time, Von Trips died in an accident, and that happened to a lot of people in those days. It wasn't unusual to have 1 or 2 drivers killed at a race meeting, so that's not a good thing. We haven't had a Formula 1 driver now killed in an awfully long time, since 1994, so cars have come an awfully long way, and it's become a much safer sport. Although it's still very dangerous, it's become a much safer sport. Also faster too. The new cars are radically faster than these cars were. But still, there's kind of a nostalgia in looking at these cars with no wings, no wide body around the wheels and tires and all of that stuff. So, like they say, you remember when drivers were fat and tires were skinny. These were kind of the old days. Anyway, that's it. I'll add some more to the bottom side of the car, and then I'll start shading the rest of it, and I'll work on that front tire, and then we'll see how far we get along with it. What I'm really kind of dreading is the wire wheels, because they are such a pain to draw, but oh well. That's the way it's going to work out. When I get those, if I get those right, then they will be spectacular. It's just that they take a lot of work, because you have to figure out the cross 4 pattern or cross 3 or whatever it is, and then you have to draw it in with the topmost layer being intact, so that you don't have lines crossing lines, and then from there you work backward into the rear of the wheel, and it's a real challenge trying to make that look right without making it just into a jumble of lines. Anyway, that's where we are. So I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll post this, and I hope to see you tomorrow then. Thank you. Bye.